Hi guys, my name is Lela Sophia. I am an artist and fine jewelry designer. If you like contemporary fine jewelry, if you like luxury handbags, all things interiors, and I have some fun videos for you. Today we're going to go over a topic that I absolutely love and I am so beyond excited to talk about. Today's topic is men's jewelry, or more masculine presenting jewelry. This is a topic that I think is really not talked about enough. I myself actually opened and owned a men's jewelry store for nearly 2 years. My stepfather is an incredible entrepreneur and I had worked in the jewelry industry for about 7 years, and he had the amazing idea to open a men's, specifically fine jewelry store. He wanted to give a platform to men's jewelry and I thought it was such an incredible idea. I ran with that, and so we opened our own store called Sapphire Home, which ran for nearly 2 years. I then closed to focus solely on Lela Sophia jewelry. There are so many incredible designers who do this category so wonderfully, and I really don't see their names pop up enough. They are all so incredible in their own right, and so I can't wait to give you my top favorite men's jewelry wear designers. Before we get into that list, if you guys are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel because we have some amazing videos coming up for you soon. Like this video and make sure that you give me a comment. What is your favorite designer on this list? I can't wait to hear. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Lela Sophia Jewelry, and I am so excited to talk about all these incredible designers. The first designer on my list, I assume that he may be a little bit more well-known, which I hope you guys have heard about him. This is Chinteo. Chinteo is such an incredible option. It's really that like subtly edgy, some pieces lean very edgy. Chinteo also does some, oh my gosh, to die for pieces in 18 karat featuring diamonds. The really cool thing, especially about Chinteo and even maybe another designer or two on this list, is that Chinteo plays so much with the finish of silver. So there is everything from polished silver all the way to fully oxidized silver. It's just such a brilliant mix. Some pieces in themselves feature both polished and oxidized. Oxidized silver is essentially just been exposed to a chemical that then creates like a black or very dark gray kind of over finish on the top of the piece. Silver naturally oxidizes, so if you've ever had a piece of silver jewelry that you had in a cabinet or had in your jewelry box for a long time and it turned dark or even black, that is just a naturally occurring process, and silver can always be polished right up again to that bright color. It's such a cool thing though when designers play around with that, because it can really create a dynamic collection. Next is another very well-known designer. This is Parts of Four. Parts of Four is a Parisian brand. I remember I stumbled into their store in Paris years ago, at least 9 or 10 years ago. They have a gorgeous space, and since then, especially this year, they have just had like an explosion. Kim Kardashian actually wears a lot of their pieces constantly, and Parts of Four is just the coolest genderless brand. The owner himself is just like decked out and wears these gorgeous pieces. Again, there's a lot of play with oxidization, and one of my absolute favorite pieces, I actually sold this as a men's wedding band. They have been playing with either sliced diamonds or raw diamonds, and when I tell you, it first of all makes the pieces completely one of a kind. They are beyond gorgeous. Parts of 4 is known for their huge, chunky, almost kind of out of this world, amazing jewelry. And then when you look up close, the way that they play with stones, the way that they use stones is just like so beyond brilliant. They're talisman necklaces with different stones. They really are exactly that. They're these beautiful talismans. I think they're so meaningful, and they honestly have a very wide range. They go from very, very edgy, and they're more fine pieces that are made out of sterling silver and using precious stones. Oh, there's just like such a cool range. Parts of 4 is such an amazing option. One of my personal favorites, an absolutely incredible designer. This is Tobias Wistisen. Tobias Wistisen has such an amazing range. The coolest thing is that he has both a men's and a women's line. Of course, everything could kind of be fluid. I have one of his rings myself. It is so beyond beautiful. He again kind of plays with very organic shapes. They're a little bit more conceptual. There's not any obvious motifs. And the way that he also plays with stones is so beautiful. The coolest thing about his work is that there's really a lot of almost like, looks like rock formations. There's these kind of like pittering away. It looks like these pieces have been around for a while or almost have been dug out of the earth, but in such a beautiful, refined way. I absolutely love his pieces. Next, we have Millimore for our people who want some gold jewelry, some pearls, a little bit less of the sterling silver. Millimore has fine jewelry that is just so gorgeous, very, very unified, very kind of universal. I love the way that Millimore plays with different shapes. I love the little puzzle pendants that they have. I think my favorite piece, however, are the chain links that they do and the pearl pieces that they do. There are truly so many options for everybody. If you want something that is a little bit more refined, again, maybe gold-centric, Millimore is an amazing choice. Next, we have a designer who I'm so excited to talk about because I know that he is a little bit lesser known, at least here in the States. This is Kiemer Luz, who I am such a huge fan of. Kiemer is truly, truly conceptual jewelry at its finest. The rings in particular and the bracelets in particular are just this incredible, again, very conceptual, almost abstract in nature. They are so beyond. I think I have had a lot of clients who just completely fell in love with his pieces. It's an amazing technique that is completely unique to him from my knowledge. He creates almost these like little craters in the jewelry, and yet the rings are then completely polished and domed on the inside. So truly, I have put a lot of rings on in my life in the years that I've been working in this industry. I can tell you his are some of the most comfortable, if not the most comfortable. If you're looking for something so different that nobody else has, his pieces might absolutely be for you. Next is another designer who I personally love so much. This is Pat Flynn. Pat Flynn is just a brilliant designer. Each piece is completely made by hand. You may know him for his nail bracelets. They're really, again, there is not that many bracelets that can really truly be genderless or even geared towards men. I absolutely love them. The range of them, even if it's kind of the same shape, they come with diamonds, they come in gold, they'll come in this blackened finish. They can do half and half. There's so many different options. Those are kind of the hero piece, but I also remember selling a few wedding bands of his. It is just like such a brilliant brand. The next designer, I assume most people would know. This is M. Cohen, which is a really cool brand. Again, they are one who I personally have seen out a little bit more in stores. M. Cohen, of course, I believe what they're most well known for are their bracelets. If you're looking for a bracelet stack, I know that men, for a lot of men, Having a bracelet is such an easy way to kind of test out jewelry, to see if you like it. They go with watches so well. It's a really, really handsome thing to add. There are some more casual options and also some more dressy options if you're looking for a really, really cool stack of bracelets, even if you just want to try one to start. I think that M. Cohen absolutely will have something for you. And next, on a very similar vein, but of course, they've like paved the way. This is Shamballa. They are known for their bracelets. They are very, very precious, and so they are at a much higher price point, and yet the stones, the gold that they use, the materials that they use, one piece that you purchase from them, you'll have forever. You'll be able to pass it down. I know some clients that have just like the coolest Shamballa stacks. There are so many things you can do with it. It's also similar to Pat Flynn in the sense that it's kind of one singular motif for the most part, but then done in different colors and different shades and different finishes and different materials. Shamballa is so, so cool. I love their pieces with like little diamond encrusted details. They're like so huge, and I think that they're an amazing, amazing idea if you're looking to add a really, really cool bracelet to your collection. Loud Objects is my next designer. They, again, are a little bit newer of a designer on this list for me. So many of these designers I've known and followed and purchased for years. Loud Objects is really cool because they are a little bit more refined, again, work in many different materials, one of which includes gold. So if you are a gold loving person, they might be for you. I love the hammer details, the bracelet cuffs, these really, really beautiful rings. If you're looking for something, again, almost in the more simple side of things, but with a twist, Loud Objects might absolutely be for you. I would definitely check them out. For the next designer, this is Legram. Legram is really cool because they kind of have a unique motif item, their bangle or their bracelet that has a really, really cool locking mechanism. Again, if you're looking for something to kind of dip your toe in the jewelry world, they might be the perfect addition. There are pieces kind of ranging in styles. That bracelet is their signature, but I know that they also work in several different materials, and they're such a cool brand to check out. If you are into silver jewelry, but not like the first few designers we talked about with big, chunky, very edgy jewelry, Pearls Before Swine is a perfect kind of in between the two. I got my brother a piece from theirs years ago. I know they were sold at Kith at one point. I have to check and see if they still are. They're on Essence. They're a really, really cool brand. Again, it's that perfect, like, if you're just looking for something a little bit subtle, maybe a little edgy, but not with chunky silver. It's a little bit kind of more everyday. You can put it on, test it out. I love their very unique motifs, but done in a little bit more of a subtle way. Title of Work is another brand that is so cool. They have men's and women's, so you can totally check out any and both sides. Title of Work has, again, as so many men's jewelry designers do, they have an amazing array of bracelets or bangles or cuffs. And if you're looking for something a little bit more subtle, they do also have some more polished, some more refined looks. It's something not too in your face. I think that adding a cuff bangle of theirs would be such a perfect way to add something a little bit more personal to your style while not going totally too into this world. They are a really, really kind of flexible, versatile brand, and I think this would be a totally perfect first men's jewelry piece. For a really, really cool, kind of almost show-stopping designer, this is Todd Pownell. I remember I worked with his pieces years ago, and they are just too cool. He plays with materials, he plays with finishes and stones. His pieces can get a little bit more into the kind of higher end fine jewelry world, and yet it's just like, oh, it's so unique, so individualistic. If you're looking for something just completely different and kind of merging the two, more so masculine, but also in the higher fine jewelry world, Todd Pownell might really be the perfect option. There are also a beautiful array of stones that are played with. I remember kind of just like being mesmerized by these pieces. They're probably the most unique on this list maybe, and I love the way that, again, the finishes are merged together and played with, and yet it's just this like beautiful, cohesive, amazing piece. And last, if you guys are still with me, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful to be able to at least kind of put on this platform these amazing designers. I can't wait to see which one you guys love the most, and let's get into the last designer. Probably a very well-known one. This is the Great Frog. I remember the Great Frog was a store that my mother and I kind of totally stumbled into over a decade, maybe even 12 years ago in London. They are a British, London-based brand. Everything is completely made in-house. If you just like picture really cool rocker jewelry, the Great Frog is exactly that. The closer you get, the more details you see. There's some really cool imagery. I am such a huge fan of theirs. They also have a store in New York, and so I'm just like, I love going in. My own eponymous brand, if you guys haven't already seen, I do have a brand overview going over everything, specific elements, and all of my inspiration points. Everything that I'm wearing today, of course, as always, will be linked down below. I always make it a point to make completely genderless jewelry, so I am shouting myself out as a little bonus on this video that I, of course, always make sure that I have pieces for every gender. Well, that is my very in-depth list of some incredible designers. I can't wait to hear which one is your favorite. Which one do you guys already own? I'm just such a huge fan, and I hope that you go for it, experiment, purchase a piece. I think that there's this weird kind of societal norm that is being broken, and so go for it. If you've been wanting to experiment, there is hopefully one designer on this list for you, and so I can't wait to hear. Thank you as always. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any future videos. I have some amazing ones, and I can't wait to see you. Bye guys.